Hey there, and welcome back to André Plays / Analyses the Original Unreal. I was actually going to show you something before I went to the ISV-KRAN, before we're about to go to the ISV-KRAN. I was actually going to... Do you remember ages ago, like 10 maps ago, in the Rhine-Davis mines, there was that bridge with that fan and we kept getting sucked into that fan? Well, just an hour ago, I was like, you know what, I want to go back to that map and see if I can actually do it. And I found I actually did do it. I actually was able to cross that bridge without getting sucked into the fan. But then I tried to record myself doing it, and once I turned the recording on, suddenly I just kept getting sucked in. So I was able to do it once off camera, but as soon as I put the recording on and tried to replicate it, it just didn't work. So I really don't know what's wrong with it. I think it is possible, but it's very difficult. There must be some sort of trick to it. I definitely feel like in patched versions, they made it easier, because in my... I also have a version of Unreal installed, of Unreal Gold, with later patches on, and it's definitely easier to cross that bridge. It's definitely easier. You just hold left and you go right through it. Whereas in this unpatched version, in this release version, I think it is significantly harder, but it is possible. I did do it, and I tried to record myself doing it, but for some reason, when I put the recording on and tried, it just kept not working. I only managed to do it once or twice without the recording, so I have no idea. Anyway, so we were here we had just entered, well, we were in the map The Trench, and we had just entered the ship, the ISV-KRAN, and let us walk through to the ISV-KRAN map itself. Entering ISV-KRAN Deck 4. Here is that body, the same body that we could have ghosted through last time to see. Yeah, here's the completed version of the message. Corporal Peli Onsov, if you're reading my log entry, I am probably dead and our ship has been overrun by aliens called Scar. Your only hope is to destroy the gold containment cores, reactivate the engines, and get to the Deck 1 transporters. So we start in Deck 4, this is at the bottom of the ship. By bottom I mean the vertical bottom, so we are actually moving up the ship, like to the vertical top of the ship. It's made by the Inuit Corporation, as you can see. So we start in Deck 4. Oh, lots of Stinger ammo and 8-ball ammo. So there's a toxin suit here. Might as well pick that up. And this is the human ship I mentioned last time. In fact, probably like a Russian or Eastern European ship, judging by everyone's last name. After loading station, ISV-KRAN. We've been wedged into this mountain ridge for 2 months now. Each night, these 4-story tall dinosaur-type beasts come and beat on the rear hull of the ship. They appear to be relatively unintelligent and slow-moving. So those are the Titans. Lots of 8-ball, lots of Stinger ammo. Oh, we can pick up. I didn't know we needed the Stinger ammo. So we can. This was just activated by us being close to it. We can go through here, find a Stinger, find 50 bullets. But this door here, we can't get through. So those ones behind us open, these ones don't open from this side. Corporal Anders Kerrig. They're coming! I can hear them in the ventilation ducts. I'm going to activate the security locks to the warehouse and implant a human DNA code so only another Terran can bypass the lock systems. So clearly this human ship crash landed in what became the Trench. And the Scar invaded the Scar sort of invaded the ship, came aboard the ship. Petty Officer Yuri Andromov. The alien war party has blasted a hole through the hull and are accessing the ship through the ventilation shafts. Kerrig, Onsov, and myself are going to make a stand with Stingers here in the loading area. So that's interesting. That seems to imply that the Stingers are actually a human weapon. This is at odds with what we've seen before, with the Stingers being found in Rhine-Davis mine and having Teridium shards as their source. Maybe because by that nature, the fact that they were found in a Scar mine made me think that they were a Scar weapon. But it's weird that, like I said, I guess the map designers didn't really... This door's locked here. The map designers didn't really think about which alien race would make which weapon, because it doesn't really make sense for the ISV-KRAN to have stingers. I don't know, unless, who knows. Behind here we have this 8-ball, which we don't need. If we press this control panel, interesting fact, all of these control panels were originally going to be breakable, so you could break them all, except the issue is that even when they were broken, like if you shot it, it would shatter, but then the button would still work. And I guess because they didn't want you to break the control panel so that it didn't work anymore, they just thought, oh, we can make, you know, the guy who made the map thought, oh, I can make the control panels all shatterable, but I still want them to work when you press them, but then it would be weird having these control panels which worked but which were shattered. So in the end they were like, yeah, nah, I just won't make them shatterable. So I press that and this thing comes down. By the way, that suit I picked up was a toxin suit, which is actually relevant. Maybe I should have left it till later, because I actually don't want to lose the toxin suit, because there's stuff in the... I should not have picked up the toxin suit now, actually. Oh shit, an alarm went off. Because there's stuff in the acid that I want to reach later on, and I don't want to lose the toxin suit. Like, I don't want to get damaged. Do you understand what I mean? Like, the toxin suit has 50 health, like 50 points of damage to it. 50 points of... Why am I using this instead of this thing? What does this say? Oh god, there was a new translator message up there. I should probably kill all these guys first before reading all these messages. So this one here said, intruder security locks activated. Bypass required. Bypass panel located in ventilation processing mezzanine. Oh god damn it. No, I don't want to take damage because I don't want to... Yeah, I made a mistake by picking up. Intruder security locks activated. Bypass required. Bypass panel located in ventilation processing mezzanine. Okay, so that's the area that I know what area that is. So some security locks have activated, which are locking us out. And these scars keep coming. And then this one said, oh, this is open now. This one said panel, okay. Let me read that again. This one here says panel rewired to trip alarm. Panel rewired to trip alarm. System accessed by unauthorized users. And this is the one we read. So I guess the humans set up this trap where anyone who came in here would be locked out, but I guess So that's right, so we pressed this panel, or I guess when we went up in the lift, as soon as we started walking up here in the lift, it triggered some sort of alarm, which locked us out of the main area. Panel rewired to trip alarm. I guess the panel that activated the lift. Because the scar started coming before we pressed this button, I think. Or did we press this button first, then the scar came? Can't remember. Either way, I still have some of my toxin suit, which is good. So the way that the suits work in Unreal is that, so the toxin suit is also it also just protects. Oh, here's an automatic. It also just protects you. This toxin suit also just works as armor. It also just gives you 50 points of armor. But while you have at least one point of armor in the toxin suit, it also protects you against toxins. So the idea is that while I still have at least one point of armor in my anti-toxin suit, I am protected against the toxic fluids. And so if the scar had dealt too much damage to me, then I would have lost my toxin suit, and then I wouldn't have been able to swim in the toxins. As it happens, I still have the toxin suit. So yeah, I'm still a bit confused whether, I guess I have to rewatch the video to see whether the scar started attacking before I press this button or not. But either way, this button seems to trip an alarm which locks these doors. No, but these doors were locked before, I think. Maybe it's just because the alarm started when I went up that lift. I guess basically the humans tried to block off the scar and set an alarm, but it seemed like us walking through this, all that alarm did was send all these scar after us. And then once we killed the last scar, this thing here opened. We can jump down here. And here we find a scar body and the 7th gun, the Razor Jack. So the Razor Jack is a pretty neat gun. It's probably of Scar origin because it looks very Scar-like. It has left click, sort of shoots this bouncy thing, blade which can sort of bounce around corners. And right click, basically, with right click you can sort of move, when you move your gun to the left or the right, you can sort of like, basically you can sort of direct it, so if I were to move my gun to the left, it would sort of move that way. But I never really use it. The Razor Jack's not a gun that I use that often, and especially not the right click setting. I prefer the black hat. So we climb up here. We get ammo for the Razor Jack, these razor blades. This down here is where we were before, in those corridors. Ooh, that noise is actually the sound of a pupae, or pupae, which are these monsters which we won't find until another couple of maps. They're these little spider-like creatures, and they're actually the baby Scar. There's a Scar in their pupae phase, you know, because the Scar are like, well, the Scar form a hive. We're hearing more hisses of these pupae. So like I mentioned, down here is actually where we were before, all those corridors. Just to show you, if I jump down here, this is where we were. So yeah, the Scar are like they're sort of lizard-like, you know, they look kind of like lizards, but their society forms a hive. They have a queen. And baby Scar are called pupae, because they're like in their pupa form. And excuse me, and they look like these little spider-like, head crab-like creatures. Okay, this is also where we were. And here, ventilation processing mezzanine ducts. Maintenance personnel only. Warning, engine coolant leak in mezzanine. So this is how we unlock that main, see right here, this is how we unlock that, those doors that we were locked out of. This says, security bypass lock station. Security locks engaged. So if we press this, we've now activated, oh. Huh, wait, that's weird. Security lock bypass station. All locks open. Access permitted to warehouse. So that's before it said something like security status. The locks are engaged. We stepped up to it, and yeah, pressed the button. And now that the lock that the humans implemented is now unlocked. Notice there's actually an ASMD in here. The way to get it is you shoot this thing up here. This is actually a secret, and this thing opens, and we can crawl very closely without getting splattered by the fan. Now the reason I wanted to keep my toxin suit is because there's actually something in this toxin down here. And because I have my toxin suit, I don't die. If I didn't have the toxin suit, then swimming in here would deal me damage in this toxic coolant fluid. Now these doors are actually openable from this side. And now we come back to here, where we were. Still lots of enable there and lots of able ammo which I don't need. Might as well use the 8 ball though. So now that we did that whole part there, we've now... Does this have a new message? This doesn't have any message anymore. Weird. Now this should have a new message probably, unless... I guess because we activated the door, we disabled those messages. Some clips. Some health. Here's a lift. What does this say? Warehouse safety bars over warehouse safety bars. These are the warehouse safety bars. Override in upper warehouse loft. Oh, damn it. I'm gonna go back and get some. Since I've been using 8 balls and using them not very well actually. Oh, this ammo is enough to get me up to 48 bullets. That's the full amount. So we killed that scar. Sort of. So, what does that message say? These are the warehouse safety bars. Override in the upper warehouse loft. So that's that area up there. It looks like. Dead human, no message. And here is some Teridium sludge and a GES spy rifle. GES spy rifle, I should say. Let's press this. Button activates these controls to take you to the loft, I guess. Now here, we actually have another one of these co-op, this passage here, in here is one of those little co-op only passages, or like, this passage exists because once we enter this place, basically then bars will come down and we'll be locked into a fight. And people who come in after us will be able to go through this sideway. So it's one of those passages designed for co-op play. Nice. So we get some. There's this guy. Does he have a message? No message. So right now it's locked, but after we go through. Damn it, I'm lagging a bit. That was dumb of me. I'm using the 8 ball, but then I'm blowing things up in my face. I'm actually going to redo this. I'm going to redo this bit. So I'm using the 8 ball, but the problem is that it's close combat. So basically, what's happening is that I'm blowing up these rockets in my face. Might as well use our new gun, the Razor Jack. Oh, it just bounced on the wall and hit me. So if I do right click, I can... Ouch. Wait, I thought these bars closed on me. Weird. Was I able to leave that whole time? I thought those bars closed on me. Maybe Maybe that was some... Oh yeah, this thing. I thought this thing came across to shut me in. Did it? I'll have to rewatch the video. I don't think it did. Weird. Maybe just after I killed the last scar, it reverted. Come on, open up. Whatever, it's annoying. I don't know why it doesn't open up. Either way, we need to press the button up here. Warehouse safety bars disengaged. Access to dock permitted. So, now the bars are being disengaged, and we can access. What does it say now? Does it have a message, or did the previous message just disappear? I think the previous message just disappeared. And now we can access this dock, which will take us to the next map, ISV-KRAN Deck 3 and 2, and actually might already pick up any apples I used. So yeah, I will see you guys next map, and yeah, see ya.